Well, we were late. Apologies to all of you out there. So we're letting the room fill up a little just to let everybody know. And then we'll be chatting away.
Yeah, people are rolling on.
I'm thinking about that Torchies we had for lunch, though.
I know. We had to plug the Torchies last time.
We did.
This time it was the Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades. So if you happen to live next to a Torchies taco, which I know not many people do.
No.
I'd really suggest going and buying the taco of the month. It's pretty spectacular.
Where else can you get the rotating taco of the month?
I don't know.
Nobody else does it.
I don't know.
I didn't wear my shirt this time though. I was trying to clean it up. Apparently my wardrobe looks like Debbie Sue's pajamas though. She told me just before the interview. So
really?
That's
an image.
Nice
Debbie Sue's pajamas.
Minus the faded trademark image of someone that shall remain nameless, but
her stuff has to have sequins on it, though, right? Like, she doesn't wear anything unless it's got a little bling going on.
Yeah, a little bit of bedazzle.
She bedazzled it. No, just so you all know, this is my fancy cowboy shirt, right? Because I'm in Texas, so I have to have a fancy cowboy shirt. But this is what Mark Anderson has looked like since birth, right?
I was born in a T-shirt, and I tried the Einstein thing, trying to not have to pick out clothes in the morning.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, blue jeans and some T-shirt.
So you're saying you don't spend any mental power on that so you can focus the rest of your time on game making?
You guys are really lucky I wear pants every day because my mind is usually elsewhere.
That's good to know.
It is.
That can make meetings pretty interesting. All right, well, we're getting up to a good solid number here, so let me throw a few questions out to all of you there in the chat room. These are not going to be hard. These are not going to be brain busters, but later on in the programs, everybody, you're going to find out the answers to them. So first off, everybody wants to know, hey, what's going on with the game? What else are you going to put in? What else are you going to fix? What are you going to add? And we're here to talk to you all about it. So let's do the introductions and get things rolling. I'm Chris Kao, Game Director on DC Universe Online.
And I'm Mark Anderson. I'm the Art Director on DC Online.
Although we do let him design some stuff now and then, just, open the box a little.
I can't be contained in the box.
No. And Mark did an awful lot of stuff on combat and has, obviously, as we mix things around in live, we all start to mesh our skills and do many, many things. So speaking to that point, here are some of the questions, and they all have to do with March and what's coming in March. We're going to talk about March 2nd. First, we'll talk about February, but here's some questions. So first off, I guess it's more of a clue, right? A DC clue. This all has to do with colors. So first, there's going to be an entire episode dedicated to the colors black and white. And what characters could possibly be in an episode about black and white? I don't know.
It's up to them.
It may be incredibly obvious to all of your DC fans there, but there's at least 2 characters coming to the game near you that have to do with black and white. Continuing with that color theme, there's something having to do with green and yellow. It's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, more colors, more madness. And then, of course, there's the seasonal stuff having to do with a rainbow of colors.
Oh, yes.
A full-on rainbow, right? So think about those 3 things. We'll come back to you, and you already get a little bit of a tease on what March is all about. But let's talk about February real quick and see how we can break it down and see what's going on. So we launched the game in January. Got that February update out there to you guys. We call the updates by their numbers, so that was update 1. March will be update 2, so that's how we'll be referencing them going forward. But update 1, we wanted to put a whole host of stuff in, and obviously you guys have been playing it, and the feedback so far is some of it you really like, and some people hate some of it.
Which is pretty much what we thought when we give you a whole bunch of stuff. We give you something to like, and we give you something to hate.
Well, and we have
hopefully something more to like.
Well, and we have a big audience, diverse, lots of interest, right? Yep. We had anything from solo content to shared content to duos to all sorts of stuff to up to the raids. So with that broad an audience, but let's get it out there, right? You're the art director. We brought you in because there's a lot of hate for Cupid. Like a lot. Like let's delve into the psychology of this. Now, how did you come up with the art for Cupid? What were you thinking at the time?
Well, I didn't personally come up with the art for Cupid, but I ultimately
are you abdicating responsibility? Okay,
absolutely not. I'm taking full responsibility. Right. I like diapers, and I thought the other people would identify with diapers, and I wanted to get that out there for folks to play.
Now, some people were saying that you may have been inspired by an SOE staff member for the face of that Cupid. Now, you got to be honest. These are the fans. These are the players. Were you inspired by somebody?
I am constantly inspired by the team around me.
Are you?
I could not do the work that I do every day if it weren't for the team.
Is marketing sitting really close to you? Is that why you're talking like that? Or what's the real answer?
I don't know.
You got to give me the real deal.
Somebody said I looked like I had hemorrhoids and the chair was uncomfortable earlier, so maybe
well, hey, we got that out there.
Yeah, we got
Thanks
that
for throwing that word out there. No, so we had some people saying, hey, did you model the Cupid off of Smed?
Yeah,
right?
Specifically.
And actually, we used a laser scanner to take a detailed image of Smed's head and faux hawk, which he only wears on occasions.
Yeah, it's usually for karaoke.
We really didn't.
No.
It just happened to come out that way. And to talk about February overall, let's look at the scope of it and sort of see how our scorecard is and see how we kind of did. Catwoman, lots of people liked it. They liked the depth of the boss fights, the moving around, the different types of things that goes on. Of course, the cut scene was great, right?
Yeah, the tie into the brand.
And it was a really big change for us process-wise. We've actually been moving into more of a live schedule, and we actually had designers doing art and artists doing design. You want to talk a bit about the level add on that thing?
Yeah, we've really been trying to go to a process that's a lot less of, well, design does their thing, and then it moves over to art, and then it moves back to design. I mean, honestly, we couldn't do that and turn around the updates in a time frame that would work. So we've really trying to put these groups, these mixed content groups together and let people do what they do best, and sometimes that crosses those lines, and that means that we're getting art commentary from the designers and a design commentary from the artist, and I think it's a lot more representative of what you get as a player, because we're all gamers here, we're all playing the game, and we're all trying to make the best content we have. And as a result of that process, I think our map layout and the things that guide you as a player through the map are getting better and better.
Right, I mean, like the cool cams pointing to the right areas, the busting through the walls, the hidden container, right? Like all of that, a lot of it went into art. So expect the levels and the art to keep getting better and better, because we're all in the thick of it working together. So overall, thumbs up on Catwoman. A lot of people liked it. Now, also going in there, we had the Bane duo, which was a revision and a revisiting of something we'd done before. But of course, that's a really unique dungeon because it's a vertical dungeon, right? People loved it. We had a lot of environmental stuff on. I'd say thumbs up overall over there.
Yeah, I'd say overall that was probably a thumbs up.
Yeah. So continuing on, let's throw in the sort of wrench into the whole thing, which is the Valentine's thing. I want to break it into a couple parts. I think the Aphrodite thing overall depends on the feedback. It was a very unique kind of fight, something we tried out. I think overall we'll give ourselves sort of a mixed rating, right? Like we could have done it better. We would have liked to do that stuff better. Learned a lot from it, but it was interesting to try to create something that was that thematic in that kind of boss fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a learning process for us. What can we make and deliver the most bang for your buck each month and give you something that you want to play? So I think we really tried to be diverse in that first update and try a lot of things to see what we could give you and what y'all would respond to.
Right, and just to move to the other part, which was mostly contentious, which was that, hey, turn into a Cupid with a cap or not. I think it was overall sort of a meh, with sometimes the bounce house, if it was busy, you're getting a thumbs down. That's the rating we give ourselves. But we've learned from that, and especially player population, and we've tried it out. We'll adapt it for next year, make it more fun for next year, because remember, these seasonal events are only for a limited time. Remember, you can only get your cool items, you can only get your cool appearance set, right? You can only get that gear right now while February is still playing, Update 1 still playing, so make sure to get out there. Then we had Batcave 2, right?
Yep.
Even more Brainiac and even more OMAC. They sound a lot alike.
They do, but you got to cross-pollinate those streams.
That's right.
You get something better than either on its own.
And we had an awful lot of cool coordination that went on here with effects and animations, really stepping up the level, stepping up the action there.
Yeah,
and at the challenge, a lot of people were like, "Ouch! Wait! Bam! Batcave 2 hit me in the head."
Yeah.
Right. So thumbs up on that thing. Everybody liked it, and of course, we have even more of that coming as the story sort of unfolds. The auction house or the broker went out, right?
Yep.
We're going to continue to add functionality to that, but now people can trade with each other, so that's all great. And of course, a lot of fixes went in specifically to a lot of chat things.
Yeah, that's
right. Overall, a few things that were here, but mostly we really liked Update 1. It seemed like a lot of you like Update 1. We're going to keep giving you more stuff that you like, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So talking about part of this, we have a few big issues that are still outlying there that we're addressing, and let's start to talk about Update 2 coming into you in March and seeing what we do. Hold on to those questions. Let's talk about those things first and foremost, though, that are right now interrupting people's gameplay experience or that need to be addressed and fixed. So first off, we have the reported exploits and people using what's called post-canceling or post-canceling animations in order to exploit rapidly. So without making the camera glaze over, could you give us the Johnny Walmart explanation? Because marketing didn't... Oh, I'm sorry.
We can't say that.
The Bobby Best Buy.
The unknown speedster.
The unknown speedster. We're not supposed to say that for some reason. Explanation of what's happening there, at least at a high level. Because we're fixing the exploits. We're not going to tell you how because... Well, that makes them a little too easy to keep doing.
Yeah, at a high level, I mean, we're trying to take your inputs as often as we can, and we're trying to give you the ability to change your mind, which often happens as you're, in an action and reaction scenario with especially with other players. You need to be able to look at what that other player is doing and be able to react to it and not be locked into something.
And what that resulted in was people who have macros or macro mice we're able to take advantage of that ability to interrupt and change those things
Right.
to create strings that were going very fast. We've put in all sorts of different, both on the logging to figure out who's to do it so we can turn it into a customer service thing and make sure to resolve it that way. We've put in technology to actually help adjust that, and we're actually changing some of the way that combat is set up to continue to adjust it. You already have a bunch of hot fixes out about that, but March is going to have even more to fix that, to squash those exploits, keep PvP fun, and keep PvE honest.
That's right, and you know, you guys keep us as honest as anybody. I mean, the more that we put in there, we make a game that's as fun as we can possibly make it. People figure out a way to min-max it, and we're constantly in a state of trying to, you know, look at that, see what that's doing to the game, and react to that as well. So,
and there's a couple other things that are big, obviously, right? Chat and the social nature, being able to talk to your friends, being able to do things with your friends. There's two big updates coming to all of that. First off, spatial chat is going out. You will be able to turn this on and be able to talk to other people right around you. If you see them, you'll be able to talk to them. It'll make it much more of sort of the text MMO experience, but brought to you via voice. Now, make sure you opt into this because it'll be a little wild, wild west, right? Anybody can say anything there, so of course experience may vary with online play, but we're throwing that out there as an innovation to all of you, working with our partners at Vivox to get that done. Almost more importantly, we've also changed social and the whole social UI quite a bit.
yeah, that's right.
Right, we've moved a bunch of the social functionality out of the sort of PDA that you bring up and instead put it on the quick menus. So you'll be able to invite, trade, change, all of the rest of the stuff you need to do right at your fingertips, and it'll be right there in a quick menu so that now you'll be able to do it fast when you see those people, and you'll be able to do those operations much more quickly. And as well as you'll be able to independently adjust voice channels and text chat channels and see what's going on. So we're giving you a lot more control. This is sort of version 2.0 of our chat system, both voice and text integrated, as well as the social operations that you're used to doing, right?
Yeah, that's right. And we've tried to keep the most used options where on those quick menus where they're a lot faster to get to. It's more of a cascading menu system where I think it's something that especially console people will be more used to, but even for PC players, it's a lot more accessible. We try to use the least used stuff, pack those all together in more of the regular UI, and it's a lot better. I mean, we've used it here internally a little bit, and we feel like it's a real step forward.
Totally, and we're going to keep iterating on that and evolving it, but it'll get it out of the awkward stage and into the fast phase for you is our goal. So we have some exploits, which we're addressing. We have the social and the communication stuff, which we're addressing. And sort of lastly, the other big issue that people have, you guys are doing great jobs reporting bugs and talking to us on the forums and on Facebook about issues, but it's actually queuing and being able to use the on-duty system to get to the instances you want. So first off, right off the top, you are going to now be able to invite people who drop out for whatever reason back into your group and be able to either invite, vote, kick them, whatever you want to do. You now have control over your queued group in that instance. It's going to be up to you to maintain it. And if you want to turn it back on to have the queue fill it up again, it will. This will do two things. First off, it's going to make it a lot more interesting and a lot more viable to keep grouping because you don't just get some poor random person slammed into your group right at the last boss fight when someone goes link dead. Right? That's pretty horrible. We're changing that. More importantly, the actual queues will work better because we've actually changed some of the queuing logic, so you should get into queues faster, get into the groups that you want better, and be able to control it when you actually find a group of people you want to keep going around with. So huge improvements on that front, UI as well as back end, so look for a lot of that stuff. So March, really, you're going to be able to have more fun because people are going to be cheating less. You're going to be able to talk to people, right, and actually form groups and guilds and everything else much more easily with the new social menu. And then, of course, you're going to be able to go do all of that great instanced on-duty content much better. So those are the big issues that we're tackling, and those are the big, along with a whole bunch of other bug fixes, that's sort of the, hey, here's how we're improving your game and continuing to advance it. But that's just us making up for the stuff that's not working the best. Let's talk about the new stuff, right?
Sure.
So some of the new stuff. So I said something black and white. What are we putting in that's black and white?
I don't know. Do you think? I don't know if anybody got it. If it scrolled by, or I don't
know if they guessed it.
I think I saw one person actually get all of it all in one go.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So we might.
Can we give credit to someone? Well, at the very least, obviously a little black and white. Who is it? Who's our focus character for March?
Oh, so we've got Two-Face for March.
Two-Face. That's right. And of course, he's got that, black and white, the two sides of it. But of course, we're introducing a whole new character, one I'm sure your artists were excited to make, right? And all of his minions. So talk about our other friend who's black and white in that same
It's
thing.
all about penguins.
That's right. Penguins. Robot penguins.
Oh, you can't have a regular penguin without shiny robotic penguins.
And regular penguins.
Regular penguins.
And then the penguin.
And then the penguin's got to be in there.
Right. So basically, there's a mission where the gang war continues. It's the episodes you've already played. Now we're going to continue to see that go through with Two-Face in his sort of schizophrenic way, wanting you to both help him overthrow Penguin and hurt Penguin, hurt himself. So get ready to get in there. There's a whole lot of variety in this instance. Different bosses will spawn in different ways. There's a great comic cutscene at the end, so look for the focus character. And also, Two-Face is in Legends, right?
Yeah, that's right. Two-Face is in Legends, and we've really tried to play up that sort of split decision, the duality of Two-Face. So you've really got sort of two different modes that you can play Two-Face in, and it's a little bit of a different mechanic for one of our Legends characters, and we did quite a bit of tuning on it to make sure that it was a unique experience.
Right. I mean, he has a cool supercharge ability, which is the coin toss, right?
That's right. So he can charge up on the coin toss, and you can kind of keep flipping the coin and kind of keep his supercharging going. So.
Yeah, it should be really cool, and of course that's going to mix up Legends quite a bit more. Going back to the exploits, Bane's fixed, so sorry any of you who hadn't been playing, you're going to have to find actual skill or ability because picking up stuff with Bane is not going to work as happily as it was before. All right, so now let's talk about green and yellow, right? Obviously, those are two big colors. They may be leading to something else later in the year, but marketing won't let me know. So I can't say anything about what that could possibly be, and you guys obviously won't infer anything. But we have a Green Lantern duo coming out, right?
We do, and yeah, we just keep tuning on that, and that's looking fantastic.
And working with your artists, we really stepped up what light powers are and what they mean, right? Like, you've got some real awesome sauce going on in this thing. It's not just going to, even though it's cool with walls and dumbbells and everything else, we sort of brought it, but because not only did we revamp the instance, we revamped the light powers that were going on.
Yeah, we really thought we'd kind of redone the green and yellow spheres. Had kind of been done to death, and we really want to kind of do some variety there, make sure that the lanterns really got their groove on, and there's a lot of new weapons on the on both sides.
A lot of new tactics.
Definitely a lot of new tactics and a lot more bigger fights. It really does feel like you're getting into the middle of a Roar of the Ring in that case.
Right, and, so as the story in our game unfolds with the rings, something's going wrong, the rings are malfunctioning.
Yep.
This is the sort of instance that was at the end of the first Green Lantern adventure. You're going into City Hall, and here you're going to face more than just the Manhunter and the Alpha Lantern that were in there. You're actually going to face Arkillo and Kilowog as well. We've added them in. We've given them all sorts of special ways to kill all of you. I'm sorry. Knock you out.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's going to hurt. Trust me. You may flinch. Your screen may shatter because they got some serious pain they're going to be bringing. We've been limping along with giving you the other duos, but watch out. This one's going to punch you right in the face. And then we've actually refactored the Jon Stewart and Sinestro fight with even better effects, better abilities over the top. So watch out. You got a whole bunch of light coming your way.
Yeah, they're really over the top now, and it's a lot more of what we really wanted to deliver with light and the way that they felt when they pulled out a construct that you're like, oh man, I didn't see that coming.
Right, so watch out for it and get ready for it because there's a lot coming on. And it's amping up the sort of odds that have to happen in the duo itself. And then, of course, let's talk about the rainbow of colors, right? So we have to bring a rainbow to this, and it's Superman's friend. Who's going to show up during March?
Well, we're going to have to
Can you say his name correctly?
I can, but I prefer the old school. I wrote it on the board because the new school Mixelplick it doesn't sound nearly as good to my ears as Mixelplick, which was the old Super Friends sort of version of his name. So I'm going to say that I'm old school and call him Mixelplick or Mixie, which is a lot easier than getting the pronunciation right. But we've all been working on that as we've added him.
Well, March, of course, has a great North American holiday in it, which any of you above 21, I'm sure, enjoy wonderfully, right?
Or some of those under.
Well, St. Patrick's Day, right?
Yeah,
so it's either green beer or green candy, one of the two. I don't know which side of it you're on, right? But we're going to be putting some of that holiday event out, and it's actually a completely different holiday in sort of theme and tone than Valentine's Day is, and so we've done something different with it. It's all shared world stuff, and actually, watch out because you're going to see rainbows, right?
That's right. We had to connect a little bit of that. I think it ties Mixian in a way into our universe and also into the sort of seasonal events. I think it's for the people who had a lot of complaints about diapers and backwards hats. I don't understand why you're.
I like to have fun and be lighthearted, but hey.
But some people don't, and so
we understand.
We'll have fun and be lighthearted in a slightly more iconic.
A more DC way is what we're aiming at here.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot better suited to that, and it's still a lot of fun. It's because it's in a shared world. You get to experience that with more players.
So gold coins, shamrocks, all sorts of madness, and of course, you got to have another seasonal suit there. So there's an entire Celtic suit.
That's right.
Right, where you can look like a leprechaun. Actually, more of a badass leprechaun yourself, right?
Yeah, no, we tried not to cute out the actual suit itself, so it's a pretty damn cool.
It's a good
Celtic
setup,
suit.
right? And we have that going on. So all of that stuff. Now, of course, to sort of cap the thing, We have some PvP stuff going in. There's going to be some PvP currency options going on as we go forward. Some more adaptions to some of the powers to make sure that they play well in PvP. I'm a big PvPer out there. Trust me, we're going to continue to put this stuff in. We're going to fix the exploits and make it fun. But most importantly to those PvEers, we have Batcave 3 going in, right? Yeah. This is the conclusion. This is the third chapter of the launch story of the battle against the tech aspect of Brainiac. And in Batcave 1, you fought your way in through the outer caverns to get in, to sort of get in his face and see what's going on. You discovered that the Omax had actually been taken over by Brainiac and were being used to completely mess with Earth's technology. Batcave 2, many of you are in it. Not all of you are able to get all the way through it. I hope that you get your groups together with everything else and get your
I got all the way through it. They can't get all the way through it?
He cheated to get all the way through it.
I did not cheat to get all the way through it.
He cheated. It's okay, but you know.
For those of you who missed Comic-Con, Chris outed me as a new to MMO guy. So, you know, I end up being the litmus test, right? Like, if you can get through with Manderson tanking for you, maybe it's too easy.
Actually, we use that as a good, we're like, we should probably add 5 Manderson points on that, because he got through it all right. So, no, it's all good. It's great. Our game's accessible. Lots of people can play it, right? And obviously a lot of action gamers have come to it, especially on the PS3. So, Batcave 3 has probably the 2 biggest boss fights you've ever heard of. First off, you're fighting Omac Batman. You saw him at the end of Batcave 2, where Brother Eye and all of that translated into one totally badass Batman. So you've got to throw down against him, and then ultimately you've got to go against Brainiac himself. This is the first time players are going to go toe-to-toe. You saw him at the end of Beta, where he ate all of you alive. Yeah. You've seen him in the TV commercials and in the movies. The avatar of technology, the huge 3-phase, multi-part missile launching, techno-crazy, crunching Brainiac is going to be there and consume all of you liberally for some period of time until you figure out his strats. We've worked on the animations, we've worked on the effects, the abilities.
The cool cams, the presentation, everything, we've really stepped up with that boss.
And so watch out, because that's the end of the very first part. You defeat him, you defeated 1/3 of Brainiac and gone 1/3 of the way to freeing Earth from his clutches. So Batcave 3, we'll see if you can go the Brainiac subconstruct, right? See what can turn there. But it's going to be just a wee bit of a challenge. I notice a lot of you have got your Tier 2 gear rolling around there. You're going to need it because the whole thing's balanced on Tier 2. You can't walk in there with easy mode. Trust me, this is going to be, you know, something tough. And of course, on top of all of that, we have more feats going in, so you can skill point out. We have more collections going in, more stuff for you to do just across the board, a whole bunch of DCUO all at once. So a ton of stuff coming for you guys in March. Super excited to see what you do. Of course, we'll be doing these talks and telling you more about it, giving ourselves our own reviews about it, and talking with all of you and seeing what's going on. But there was something marketing wanted me to make sure not to forget. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. There was something we were supposed to talk about that's coming really soon that's even more exciting than all that stuff we were talking about for March.
A new monthly taco?
A new monthly taco. I think it might have been. We were getting a DCO-themed taco.
I think there was something...
It has to do with a couch.
Couch.
A couch.
A loaf of bread, a stick of butter, and a gallon of milk. Red fire engine. No.
What could it have been? Oh, I know. We are getting on the PS3, a digital download version of the game. You will be able to get the entire game from the PlayStation Network store. You will be able to get the whole experience at once. We're an online game. You can just go get it. You can tell your friends to get it. Boom, right there, right at your fingertips. Now, she doesn't want us to give a date. I don't know why. We could say, hey, it's going to come out. But we won't, actually. But coming soon to your very PlayStation, not even a store near you, digital download version of the game. Go grab it, tell your friends to grab it, right? Get into it and see what's going on. If you haven't tried out the PS3 version, you're going to see a whole new side to the game and what goes on. And with the improvements that are coming in March and the additional content that's going there, DCO continues to show that we're the game that has action nobody else has, the content that keeps coming out to you, and of course the universe that keeps expanding. So keep coming to these chats, keep talking to us on the forums, on Facebook, on Twitter, everywhere else. We're part of the community, we're players too, and thanks a lot to all of you out there for coming, taking some time here, answering some of our silly questions and finding out what's in store for the game. We're going to keep playing. We're glad that you guys are too, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks everybody for showing up.